There comes a moment when everything you have been working towards changes. That moment is the turning point. We're going to get into it. Hi, I'm Joe. Welcome back. This is the Ultimate Love Letter. Thank you for joining the conversation. There comes a point where everything that you have been working towards, all those late nights, all those early mornings, all those posts that seem to be doing nothing on the surface, the algorithm that never seemed to recognize you, the digital product that you created that never seems to sell, there comes a point when everything becomes due. That is your turning point. That is the moment of your breakthrough. And there are subtle changes right before that pivotal point. It's going to look the darkest. It's going to look the quietest. It's going to look like people leaving your life. It's going to look like the breakdown point. The point where you finally just got it in your mind that this is where I give up. This is where I throw in the towel. This is where I finally say, maybe I should shift here because this is not working. But this is your turning point. The turning point also looks like a fork in the road. It still looks like uncertainty. Don't get it twisted. But everything that you've been working towards, the consistent project that you have showed up for every single day, when you're showing up day after day in your authenticity, working towards what you believe in, you have not been working towards it in vain. And you know it. There is something in you also that has been growing, your faith. Your faith has been stretched. You know how I know it? Because you show up day after day, night after night, when nothing appears to be happening. And every sleepless night is a stretch of your faith muscle. And that faith is about to bloom the reward. Right before your breakthrough, you are met at a crossroads. Do you continue to go forth in the unknown, or are you going to go back in safety? Your wings are ready. You're ready to take flight. You're ready to see how much more you can push that faith, how much more you can push God's hand. You see how He has sustained you when you've been exhausted, when you had to work your 9 to 5, and then you had to come home and work your 7 to 1 a.m. You see how God has sustained you with the point where you look back and you see all that you've created and you're like, wow, you actually did that. Now, that doesn't mean that you're experiencing all the fruits of your labor as far as monetary gain, as far as audience gain, as far as contracts being signed. But you see the foundation you have built thus far, and it blows your mind. You see the website that you created. You see the following that you've created. You've seen the book that you've written, the scripts that have been written, the short films, the communities that you're a part of. You see the acting classes that you've taken. You see all that you've built from nothing. And it's almost laughable to think that all of that work was in vain. All of that work was for nothing. Oh no, here is your turning point. Going back in safety, you know it's defying everything inside of you, everything that you know is true, because you've come this far. You see where the divine has guided you. You see what you have been able to create with the divine. And you know this is only the beginning of the story. This is the turning point. And this is also the hardest point. Do you carry on where you have come to the end of your rope? The end of what might feel like your strength. The end of what might look like your resources. The end of what looked like the money in the account. But your wings are ready. This is the point where you take off. This is the point where you are actually forcing God's hand to catch you in mid-flight. This is the turning point. You can turn around in fear, but you know there is really nothing to turn around to. There is no point to restart again. There is no point to relive the same year. You've already done it, and you've done it perfectly well. You showed up every single day for yourself and for others. You put in the work. You sat in stillness. You're already ahead of 99% of people. All that work has now multiplied in game. It is compounded interest, where you feel like you're at the end of your resources. It's time to now cash in on that compound interest. You're giving it to the divine. You're telling God it is due. And God is saying, go forward. I've got you. The only reason we're going back is just to get a running head start of the leap we're about to take straight off that cliff into uncertainty and into our breakthrough. None of that was in vain. All of it was for God's work. It's time for you to step in. It's time for you to take your place as the lead. It's time for you to carry on to the other side. What you may not realize is all of that work was all a part of the dream. All of that work was you simply stepping into the life that you said you could have. This is the point where you realize there was really no threshold. It was all just a flow of being the greatness that you are, being in the big life that you dream of. You have stepped in the moment you decided to show up and do the work, you are already in that dream life. We often look at Academy Award winning directors, actors, writers, Grammy winners, and we see the end result. And we associate it with, that's the life I want. But this is the life you've built every time you step in. That is all those Academy Award winners have done. That is all those Grammy winners have done. That is all those MVPs have done. They simply showed up where no one else did, they did. They did the boring work, the repetitive work, day after day. What we were essentially doing all along was practicing. That was it. But now that practice is paying off. In fact, I'll say it differently. Now that practice has paid off because you're standing at the turning point. The last step is simply to take that biggest leap. It's not to go back. It is to continue on. This is where breakthrough is possible. This is where your breakthrough is forged. Your wings are ready. It is time to take flight. I'm proud of you for doing the work. You've deserved this reward. This is the point where you can see now why most people never break through. It was uncomfortable, but you enjoyed it. You enjoyed it because you're doing exactly what you were meant to do. You were simply following the love, and you have been led now to greatness. It is your time. It is your time not only to fly, it is your time to shine. And as you shine, it is your time to bring others. Show others the way you did it. Show others what it took. Because the price of the better view was scaling the mountain. Thank you so much for joining this convo. I want to turn your attention to our official shop, tull.shop. That is linked in our show notes, and that is TULL.shop. Everything in our World Treasure collection is coming with free shipping to the US. In our World Treasure collection is all of the beautiful artesian pieces that I have collected from around the world. And as I brought a piece home for me, I brought a piece home for you. Everything in our World Treasure shop is limited. And once it's gone, it's gone. There's only about 1 or 2 pieces per item in our World Treasure. And every item comes with a backstory of where the item was found and how I was led to it. Also, you can find our official Tull merch that's also available in that shop. Our book, Fake Ass Vegan, is available on Amazon, and you can find that also linked in our show notes. Fake Ass Vegan, a book on balance. If you have a copy, make sure you go back to Amazon and you review it. Last but certainly not least, I have added a couple of links in our show notes where you can also show an offering if you're being led to support this mission. I am praying over every single offering. I am asking God to expand your territory. Those links were actually placed there by guidance from the divine, where you can reciprocate energy, where you can give an offering, where it can be blessed by God. Thank you so much for being here. Until next time, love yourself and love others. We'll talk again real soon. Bye for now.